Hi, so if you're watching this video, it's because you are part of our blended learning team and you are graciously providing our SEL 2.0 team with feedback. And so this portion of the module is not yet completed in that this website is going to be updated to be a new Google site, and only only four of the effective classroom practices are completed at this point. So just kind of keep that in mind. When this go in July, this will be a new Google site, and these will be all done. All 10 of these will be done, and you will also have this video will be replaced. So with that, I'm going to just jump into kind of what we'll go through in the actual video when it's live. But that I just wanted to give you a little bit of background as a person on the blended module team that's going to be providing feedback for the SEL module team. So what we'll tell participants here when this is all said and done here is that this website is going to be a resource for you to complete assignment number 2. And so we want to go into a little bit of background about effective classroom practices, what they are and where they came from. So at College Community, we've been working on PBIS implementation for a long time. And one of the components of PBIS that is really fundamental but often overlooked because there's so much to consider in Tier 1 implementation is effective classroom practices. So what needs to be present in every classroom to support that 80% of the students are going to be able to maintain behavior and be successful within the classroom. And these are kind of College Community's collection of effective classroom practices, because if you bop around to different websites, you will see like the Wisconsin PBIS network, the Midwestern PBIS network, you'll see that they'll use the terminology effective classroom practices, but they will oftentimes have a list of 8, a list of 10, a list of 9, and sometimes the language of the actual practices overlap, and sometimes they don't. So we just took some time and looked across all of the national PBIS and state PBIS networks to see what they called effective classroom practices, and were able to come up with a fairly concise list of 10. So you won't always see effective classroom practices identified as the exact same 8, 9, or 10, but this is the list that we're using at College Community. So that's where the list of 10 came from. Now why do we have them? Well, when we consider how to meet at least 80% of student needs, we have to make sure that these things are in place. If there is any effective classroom practice that is not quite implemented in a classroom, that might cause more students to appear to need Tier 2 support or Tier 3 support. Now, that's not to say that you won't have students that need Tier 2 support and Tier 3 support if all of these things are in place. That is absolutely untrue. We will still have students that need Tier 2 and Tier 3 support. But if we have really solid Tier 1, just like in literacy, if you have really solid Tier 1, fewer students are going to need the supports of Tier 2 and Tier 3. So all of these fit within Tier 1. Arranging orderly physical environments, if that's something that's of interest to you, click on that information. You can see background information, and each of these tabs has some background information, some checklists, some success criteria. Just kind of bop around and see what's available in each one. But all of them have a quick fact sheet that gives you kind of some overview information that could be very helpful. Also, there's some checklists. So this is the kind of thing you could just kind of walk through and do a little self-assessment. Let's take a look at procedures and routines. Again, you'll still see background information with the quick facts. Here's a list of different procedures and routines that are pretty basic that you might just kind of, again, do that self-evaluation and see. peer observation and coaching. There's a self-assessment and success criteria. Interactive modeling, there's some good videos you could take a look at. So with this website, we want you to just kind of look through the effective classroom practices. And again, just PS for our blended learning team, this will be a different website and all of these will be completed, but for this purpose, just pick two. But anyway, pick a couple based on your classroom needs and see what materials are there and give it a go with some implementation. So that's what this is all about. Thanks, and please let us know if you have any questions.